The Joe Rogan Experience.
This is something that I've been trying to fight against within the Democratic Party back when I was vice chair of the DNC for years, and it's gotten to a point where those who have been in charge for a long time remain in charge, are not willing to change, and so I'm leaving the Democratic Party.
Is that this big announcement?
Yeah.
You're leaving the Democratic Party?
I'm leaving the Democratic Party because I've tried to enact that change from within. It's not, I don't see the Democratic Party as being savable. And I know that I can make an impact more from the outside. And frankly, I can't be associated and stand by this insanity that's been going on and continues to worsen day by day.
Are you going to be an independent?
Yep.
So that's how you're moving forward.
Yep.
What is it about this country that is so politically married to having two teams and two teams only? And how do we fix that? Because there is very little room for someone who's a third-party candidate to be taken seriously in this country. And when you do vote for a libertarian, you do vote for an independent, many people think of it as a protest vote.
Spoiler, right?
Yeah. Or at the very least, you say, you know, that's why I voted for Joe Jorgensen. That is me personally, why I did. Because I was like, I'm not voting for him, and I'm not voting for her.
Yeah.
Fuck this. And then I'm not voting, or that was, with this one, it was Biden, actually. But that was also why I was voting for Gary Johnson. It was like, I'm not voting for her, and I'm not voting for him. I'll vote for that guy even if he doesn't know where Aleppo is. Like,
That's right. I forgot about that.
But I don't, that wasn't that big of a deal to me. That to me was
It
like.
seems like, I mean, it was a big deal at the time, but it seems like so minor now compared to, you know, our vice president standing at the DMZ saying we are great allies with North Korea.
What a fuck up that was. And that didn't even make the news. People barely talked about it.
Exactly.
Our great partnership with North Korea. Like, what?
Yeah.
North Korea?
Yeah.
You're
and she didn't even stand there and be like, I'm sorry, I misspoke.
Right.
No.
Well, sometimes people, like, you don't realize I do that all the time. Like, Jamie will correct me all the time. I'll say something that I thought I said another thing.
Right.
And he's like, you said that. I go, oh, did I?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't mean that. I meant the other thing.
Right.
Because it's just a flub.
Yeah. I guess the problem is it comes in a long line of flubs.
Oh, she's
and
she is absolutely terrible. And that is, for you, that is where, like, everything sort of soured with you in the Democratic Party, was when, during the debates, where you accurately pointed out her record.
Yeah.
And you basically sank any hope that she had of being president, because you opened up this discussion that many people are not aware of about her prosecution record and the things that she's done that are absolutely illegal.
Yeah.
Like forcing people to work as cheap labor for the state to fight wildfires after they're supposed to be released.
Exactly.
They did their time.
They did their time, and she kept them in prison to use them essentially as slave labor for the state, putting their own lives at risk forcibly. The thing about my exchange with her on that debate stage, and you take a step back, you got to question, like, all of those things I brought up on her record, you easily Googleable on the first page. When you look at Kamala Harris's record, all of those things, I'd have to dig very deep to see what those issues and problems were with her record. So then the question is, hey, why didn't anybody in the media ask her these questions about the record that she said, I'm so proud of my record as this and as that, as that. All right, cool. Talk about this. This is your record. Talk about these things. No one in the media did that. There's no other candidate on the debate stage who had the balls to bring that up. How are voters supposed to be able to make their best informed decision when the media and fellow Democratic candidates who are running, who are her opponents in that race, don't have the courage to ask a very factual question on a record that she says she's proud of?
Do you think that there's a concerted effort to hide that information, or do you think that people recognize that's a trap? Like, if I do that, then it's going to fuck up my future. They're going to not want me to participate in certain things, which most certainly happened to you.
Yes, that most certainly happened to, and that shows the double standard. I don't know why no one had the courage to ask her those questions, why I was the first person to do it. If I had to guess, I would imagine it's because she's got friends in high places. I would guess it's because she's a woman of color, and no one wants to be seen as the person attacking a woman of color who's running for president. They got no issues attacking me on a whole host of fronts, but because, again, she was connected, she's playing the game, she's somebody that the Democratic Party knows that they can control. And that was the thing for me is, and it started years before I ran for president, is once the Democratic, I got elected to Congress, and they were like, oh, she's the first this, she's the first that, she's cool, she's going to be one of us, we'll put her forward, and, she'll be a great new face of the Democratic Party, all these things. But then very quickly they realized, I've always been an independent Democrat. Every race that I've ever run, whether it was for city council in Honolulu or for the state legislature or for Congress, I was never like the party pick, ever. I never won any of those races with the Democratic Party saying, all right, hey, we're going to back you up. We're going to send you money. We're going to send the troops out to support you. None of that. It was always been a truly grassroots campaign of the people, which is amazing. They found out very quickly, okay, she's not somebody that, the puppet masters can control. She's not just going to read the talking points when she goes on TV or stands on the House floor. And that's where things started to take a turn, where those who are in those positions of power said, okay, she's somebody who could expose our weaknesses, expose our insecurities, expose the hypocrisies in our arguments, and started to create that distance, and then resorted to the smear and the discrediting and the attacks, and then ultimately total media blackouts.